Hello everybody, my name is David and this is Only My Opinion Tech. Today I want to talk about microphones. I think microphones for the most part are more important than the camera that you use. I'm just using my iPhone here and I'm using a green screen, just so you know. I'm sitting at my kitchen table. The microphone is a really important thing if you're doing any kind of a review video, if you're doing any kind of maybe an instructional video. The people really need to hear what you're saying, and that's just my opinion. I mean, I know there's a couple of guys out there, they never speak in their video, but you have to stare at the video. I don't watch their videos. I mean, I've stumbled across them, I've seen them, they're interesting, but I'm gone from home over 100 hours a week, so I don't have the time to just sit and stare at a screen all the time. Most of the time when I'm listening to the people that I follow a lot, when I'm listening to their video, I casually watch, or while I'm in the shop working and running around and doing my thing, I listen. If I can't hear it, I'll skip to another video. A couple of things that I think are worth mentioning when you first start in YouTube. Be conscious of your audio levels. You don't want any distortion. You don't want people to have to crank their volume up to hear you either, because all of a sudden a commercial comes on, and there at some point there will be a commercial, and the commercial just knocks their headset off or whatever they're listening on. It's extremely loud compared to your audio. You need to kind of normalize that. Listen to your audio, and then without changing any settings, go to a couple of other people's videos and see where their volume is. Listen to a couple of commercials, see what the volume of the commercials, whether you have them or not, see what the volume of the commercials are compared to your volume. That's a huge asset in my opinion, and I hear that talked about very seldom. Hey, just one little quick thing while I'm thinking about it. If you use your phone to record with, put it on airplane mode, because if you've got it on vibrate and it vibrates while you're recording, the autofocus will turn everything that it's looking at into jello for just that bzzz, and you don't want that. Right this minute, I'm using a wired lav mic made by a company called AGD. I've been very happy with this microphone. My issue with this, it's wired and it's fine. I've got the camera a decent distance away and there's plenty of wire to reach it, but I'm kind of tethered, and you have to be very conscious when you get up so that you don't pull the camera off the tripod, knock it off the desk, wherever your camera is, your phone, whatever you're using. You don't want it hitting the floor. You also don't want to break the mic wire. You don't want to trip over the mic wire and break your arm. So a lot of variables. So if you're going to do something where you just don't move a lot, then a wired option is pretty good. I prefer a wireless option. Now there's one other option I'll talk about real quick, and that's recording into a secondary device with a lav mic or a little boom headset. I've got one of those and I like it a lot. The problem with doing this is you have to sync the audio to the video, and if some people are interested, I'll cover that more in detail maybe in the next video. One of the things I like about the wireless option is the audio goes straight into the camera, the phone, and there's really not much to do when you're done. It's just done. For me, on my other channel, I make a lot of little bitty clips, and trying to sync every individual clip, maybe 10, 12, 15, 20 clips, having to sync the audio in every one of those clips before I even start to do my edit, kind of converted me over to the wireless option. And do I think this sounds perhaps a little better? I do, but I think the wireless option is really close enough that for what I do. And you need to know your audience. If your audience is mostly listening on a cell phone, then you're good. The cell phone is not gonna convey every little sound that happens. If your audience is listening on home computers with subwoofers and everything like that, you're going to be probably needing to run some sort of a high pass filter to get the rumble out, or they're not going to want to watch. If their subwoofers vibrating across the floor every time you do something, or just from the background noise, like right now I've got a fan, or actually the AC is running downstairs, and I don't know how much, because I don't use this frequently, I don't know how much this is picking up. So right now I'm going to switch to a wireless option, and I'm going to move outside before I lose all of my sunlight, or all of my daylight. Sun's gone. I'm going to switch really quick and go to a wireless option, and I'll show you why I like the wireless option. I really can't give you any reason that you would record from this distance, but the fact that you could, I think you could see probably as an asset. So I'm going to go back inside. Just wanted to show kind of sort of what the range was. Now I'm wearing a lav mic under my shirt with the included windsock, and I've been into some really, really windy conditions, and the wind noise doesn't show up on this thing. And I'm just wearing it on my pocket right now. You can normally hide the wires a little better, but I'm not interested in that right now. Just want to show you the differences. I'm going to take a brief intermission and feed my goldfish real quick. Oh, and I woke the blue jays up. Won't bore you with that too much. Oh, in case you wondered where the noise was coming from, that's my little waterfall. So that's my goldfish, my little pond in my front yard. At some point, I do plan to have koi back in my pond, but I've got to redesign the pond and make a few changes before I put the koi in there. I focus mostly on YouTube for the audio on YouTube, and that's where knowing your audience comes in. There's a couple of guys, if you're interested in music, a couple of guys that I'm going to recommend, and I'll link their channels down in the description. Bandrew with Podcastage, he does a lot of microphone comparisons. Bronson with Audio Hotline, same thing for him. And Bark has a really unique channel. It's called Obscure Mics, and he does a lot of vintage microphones, and that's a very doable option for most people, because there's a lot of used stuff on the market. There's a lot of people that are getting into YouTube and finding out it's not as easy as they thought it was, finding out maybe that's not really what they wanted to do. So there's a lot of used equipment on the market right now, and that's kind of what Bark does, kind of steers you in a direction to hear microphones, or allows you to hear microphones that you can't necessarily go into the music store and listen to. And then Mike Delgadio, I believe is how you say his name, has a channel called Booth Junkie. So for people that are interested in voiceover, voice actors, he's great. And you know, one time I saw Mike, actually, he went to the studio and he forgot to bring a mic, and he talked directly into the microphone stand, and he made that sound good. So, you know, that's the kind of voice he has. Hey, I just wanted to mention real quick, none of those guys know who I am. I listen to them a lot. I put a lot of confidence in what they say, and they have helped me a lot, even though I haven't interacted with them much. So anyway, disclaimer, I'm not putting this in here because I know these guys personally, but I've listened to them a lot, and they do a great job. If you are interested in seeing what the Tascam does and what the workflow is to bring in a secondary piece of audio, what the secondary piece of audio sounds like in my next video, or leave me a comment, but that's kind of what I'm planning for the next video, is to actually record some wireless audio, which is what I usually use, a little bit into the Tascam using the AGD lav mic, the first one I started off with. This can go in your pocket, and then you you sync everything up. I'll go through the process on that to show you what it's like so that you can see the workflow. This may be an option for you. You can use a cell phone to record the audio. If you have a second cell phone that you're not using, you can put an app on there to record your voice and then sync it with the video in your phone. I'm just trying to get people started in YouTube, let you test the waters without spending a whole lot of money. One thing I wanted to mention before I go, there are a lot of options such as USB microphones, the Blue Yeti. There's several, and there's a thing going on right now where there are companies that have a USB mic that also functions as an XLR mic. The issue with picking up a USB mic is it's pretty much a one and done. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. When you grow, it goes on the used market or goes on the shelf somewhere. Combo mics that are USB and XLR lets you get started, and then later on, if you want to start to expand, you can pick up an audio interface. You get the audio interface, and you can use that same microphone. And from the few that I've heard, it kind of sounds like there's an edge when you're using them with the XLR. Now, if you want to subscribe to my channel, I've got literally, I think I've got 3 right now, audio interfaces that I want to try out. I've got 6 or 7 or 8 microphones that I'm going to try out in the near future. As I said, my day job requires a lot of my time. So I'll get to these as I can, as quick as I can, and I'm going to kind of give you an idea on some brackets to do some overhead cameras with. Some that, in my second video, I've got one that I made that's just literally made out of scrap steel. And then I've got a couple that I picked up, and I've got a couple of scissor arms that I picked up that are very inexpensive. If you want to see stuff like that, if you are interested in stuff like that, subscribe, share this with somebody that might be wanting to get involved with you in a YouTube channel. If I can get a few more people watching these videos, I'll get a little more enthusiastic about putting energy into it and sharing more information. But I kind of want to pace myself so I don't burn myself out, and that's another lesson for getting started in YouTube. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for now. If you want to see more about the Tascam, you want to see more about the workflow of importing audio and syncing it with your video, there's a couple of little tricks that you can use to make that job a lot easier. I'll try to get that on the very next video. My next day off is Monday, and it is currently Friday. So I'll try to do a little something anyway on Monday with that in mind. Take care. Catch some of these other videos and kind of get up to speed with my channel. It's brand new, and I will catch you on one of those videos, or I'll catch you down the road somewhere. Thanks for watching.